I want to talk to y'all about the Avenger game. I just played it, and I gotta say, I love the story to it. I think if you're a Marvel fan or Avenger fan or whatever, you're gonna end up enjoying this game. It's a really fun game. Basically, the story follows Kamala Khan, and she's basically an inhuman with these special powers. What happens in the beginning is these Avengers are holding a special event, and that event is something about winning a contest for the best Avenger story or something like that. And then AIM attacks this event, and suddenly everything goes crazy, and then the Avenger space or the Avenger ship thing, whatever, crashes, and suddenly it blows up, and suddenly it turns a bunch of these people into inhumans, basically people with superpowers. And the bad guy in here, the leader of AIM, he wants to rid the world of superpowers because he believes they're a threat, and because he believes that they are going to ultimately be evil. He doesn't believe that people with superpowers should exist, that no one should have the power of gods. And he's trying to rid the world of all super beings. And basically, we have our story. At this point, the Avengers are split up. They have outlawed. They're not allowed to be basically in existence. And this girl ends up having to bring them all together to stop AIM from basically kidnapping and torturing innocent Inhumans. And I gotta say, the gameplay to this is kind of repetitive. I mean, a lot of the controls are the same for each character, and each character has different abilities. So there's definitely stuff within the gameplay that's amazing, but there's also stuff that kind of lacking. For instance, a lot of the times you're playing, basically you're doing the same thing. It's just repetitive, like you're doing the same thing over again, so it gets repetitive over a while, and you'll see what I'm talking about when you actually play the game. It kind of gets a little but it's still a good game, and the story definitely keeps you interesting. I'm gonna say this, for some of the controls, with some characters it's better than others. So for most of the characters I played, it was, playing the character was fine with the controls that were on there. But for some reason, when it came to Iron Man, I thought Iron Man was the hardest one to play. I always dreaded having to play as Iron Man. It was always the hardest and not very fun to play with when you get to be Iron Man. I don't know. The controls for Iron Man just, I don't know. They feel junky and all that kind of stuff, but with everyone else, it felt good. Like, the best person to play in this entire game was Captain America. I loved playing as Captain America. You got to actually fight, do the shield. In fact, I was whooping everybody, like all the computers and stuff like that, with Captain America. Like, literally, Captain America is the best person to play with in this game, and that's why I love when the final fight comes. He's basically the guy who's at the end doing a lot of the final fights and a lot of that stuff. You get to play as the other characters too. Hawk was a really good one to play as. Black Widow, she was really good to play as. Pretty much every other character was really good to play except Iron Man. And every time I played Iron Man, I kind of dreaded it. So I would give this game probably an 8 out of 10. It's a really good game, and you should play it.